Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into something I think we all struggle with, habits. You know, building the good ones, breaking the bad ones, and that feeling, right? Like you're constantly fighting yourself, relying on willpower, and it just fizzles out, leaves you feeling kind of defeated. Our source today is pretty cool. It's called Kin Taumoitunung Bikwete Oitakin, basically, creating environments. The secret to changing habits. It's set up like a conversation, a teacher and student figuring this stuff out together, which I really like. So our mission here is to explore how some folks seem to nail good habits without even trying, or so it looks. We want to find those, sustainable strategies that actually work long term beyond just motivation, help you rethink how you approach it all.
Exactly. And what we'll explore today might actually challenge some of your core beliefs about self-discipline, about what it really takes to make progress. It's a fundamentally different way of looking at it. Less about struggle, more about smart design. Should be interesting.
Okay, let's dive in. The student in the book starts with this super relatable question. I've definitely asked this myself. Why do some people make habits look easy while I feel like I'm always failing, always letting myself down?
Mm.
And they immediately think, oh, it must be my lack of iron discipline, my weak willpower. Sound familiar?
Oh, absolutely. It's almost the default setting, isn't it? To question
Yeah.
your own resolve when things don't stick.
Yeah.
It's a universal thing. And yeah, that's where we often get stuck thinking the problem is us, some internal flaw, like we just need more grit or something.
We really do internalize it, like I'm just not strong enough.
Right. But the source, it just flips that idea right away.
Yeah, the teacher's response is fascinating. Doesn't talk about willpower much at all at first. Instead, they point to something external. The environment. It feels almost counterintuitive. What exactly do they mean by environment?
It's a huge shift. So environment here means basically everything around us. Your physical space, sure, but also the tools you use, the people you with, the systems you operate in, even subtle cues that kind of nudge your behavior without you noticing. We usually focus on the person, right? The teacher immediately zooms out to the stage where the action happens. And that's powerful because, unlike willpower, which, goes up and down, the environment is always there, always influencing us.
That makes a lot of sense. Always on. Okay, so to make this concrete, the teacher tells this story about Victor Hugo, the writer. Apparently, he was a massive procrastinator, struggling to finish Notre Dame de Paris. So what did he do? Something pretty extreme. He got his servant to lock away all his clothes,
Right.
everything except this big, shapeless shawl,
Yeah.
making it literally impossible to go outside. He was stuck indoors, so
Yeah.
he wrote.
Wild, right. It is wild. But it's also brilliant. It wasn't just about trying harder, was it? He fundamentally changed his surroundings. He made writing the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
Going out, that became basically impossible. He knew his willpower might wobble, but a locked door and no pants. Pretty solid constraint.
No pants, definitely a constraint. Okay, and then there's another example, totally different field. John Henry Patterson, the NCR guy. He had this big problem with employee theft in his store. Common back then. His fix wasn't lectures on honesty or watching people like a hawk. Nope. He just installed a cash register, a mechanical solution.
Right, one simple change.
And that single environmental tweak, it just changed the whole game. Made being dishonest, as the source says, but impossible, or at least really, really difficult and obvious.
And if you put Hugo and Patterson side by side, you see this really powerful pattern. They didn't try to fix the people. They fixed the system. They changed the game board, not just yelled at the players to play better. Patterson didn't magically make his employees more honest. He made dishonesty incredibly hard to get away with. Hugo didn't find more motivation. He removed the option to do anything else. It shifts the focus from this internal struggle, which is exhausting, to an external structural fix.
Which leads right to that student's aha
Yeah.
moment in the book. I think maybe some listeners are having it too. So the problem isn't just my willpower. It's how I've set up my environment. It's such a game changer, that thought. Makes you look at things completely differently.
It really is. And the teacher uses this fantastic analogy to nail it down. They say, willpower is like a fire. It flares up really bright and intense sometimes, but poof, it burns out easily. Environment, though, that's like a river current.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it just dictates where the boat goes. You can paddle against it for a while maybe, but it's tiring. The current's always there pulling you along. Think about how often that willpower fire gets snuffed out by the smallest thing, right? A notification, a bad day. But a strong current, it just keeps flowing. So the core message, and this is huge, is Kan yo ang contact by vitulot, Mavidat ning chong moi chuam noi toi gwen so kwatang zo to gwen to kwakohan.
Hmm.
Which means, basically, people don't fail because they lack discipline. They fail because they put themselves in situations where the bad habit is just too easy and the good habit is too hard.
Wow. That really takes the pressure off, doesn't it? It shifts the blame from I'm lazy to maybe my setup is working against me.
Exactly. It's not a character flaw. It's often an environmental design flaw.
Okay, so this leads us to a really practical concept the book talks about. Commitment devices, or Ket in the original. What are those exactly?
They're simpler than they sound, but really powerful. Basically, a commitment device is a choice you make now that locks in your behavior later. You're being strategic. You make a decision in the present that kind of binds your future self, especially for those moments when, your willpower might be low or temptation strikes. You're essentially outsmarting future you.
Outsmarting future me, I need that sometimes. So let's connect it back. Hugo's locked up clothes, that's commitment device, made going out way harder than writing.
Yep.
Patterson's cash register, same deal, made cheating practically impossible. It wasn't about trying, it was about designing the situation.
I see.
But hang on, is there a risk here? Does this take away our agency? Or like with Patterson, does assuming people will cheat and putting in the register maybe, I don't know, create distrust?
That's a really important question. And you do need to be mindful. It's not about, treating people like children or removing all choice. It's more about understanding how humans actually work. Most of us want to do the right thing, or we have goals we genuinely want to reach, but we get derailed, right? By friction, by temptation, just by forgetting. So commitment devices aren't really about punishing bad behavior. They're about supporting our good intentions, making it easier to follow through. It empowers that better version of ourselves by making the good path the default. Like setting GPS for your goals.
Setting GPS for your goals. I like that framing. It's supportive, not restrictive.
And the teacher gives a great modern example, something really relatable. They say when you lock social media for the week, maybe using an app blocker or something, you'll find yourself forced to read or talk to people or focus on other things. It perfectly shows how it works day to day. You make the bad habit inconvenient or impossible. You're not fighting the urge to scroll every 5 minutes. You literally can't. The device does the work.
Right. Takes the moment-to-moment struggle out of it. And this leads the student to say something really profound. To live wisely, one cannot rely solely on inner strength, but must create a space of necessity. I love that phrase, space of necessity. Building a world where the right choice is almost automatic.
That is the core idea. And the teacher's advice is super practical. Lamcho dung tun vunen dongang, va you say to but. Make the right thing easy and the wrong thing impossible. That's your guiding principle. It's not about brute force. It's about smart design, reducing friction for the good stuff, increasing friction for the bad stuff.
Okay, so making the right choice, the easy, almost unavoidable one. What are some of these wise constraints or practical steps the source suggests? Things listeners could actually, do.
Yeah, I give some great down-to-earth examples, like saving money. Instead of just trying to save, which is hard, set up an automatic transfer from your salary.
Right. The money's gone before you can spend it.
Exactly. Commitment device right there. Or, want to drink more water? Don't just plan to. Buy a nice water filter. Keep a big, full bottle right on your desk. Make it the easiest thing to grab.
So you reach for it without even thinking. And it's not just adding things, is it? It's also about taking things away sometimes.
Definitely. Like the example of moving the TV out of the bedroom.
Yeah.
If you want better sleep, remove the temptation. You don't have that nightly battle of just one more episode.
Or paying for a gym class or course up front. You've already invested, so you're way more likely to actually go, less likely to skip it.
Precisely. See, in each case, you're not fighting the same battle every single day. You make one strategic choice, set up the environment, and then it does the heavy lifting for you. And the teacher makes this bigger point. Human progress is kind of built on this. Basically, civilization advances because we keep letting technology and our environment help us out. We build bridges, create plumbing, design cars, all to make good things easier and bad things harder. We've been designing our environment for centuries. Why not apply that same thinking to our personal habits?
That's so true. We engineer the world around us. Why not our own lives? But there's a catch, isn't there? The teacher warns about technology, too. Says something like, if we are not mindful, technology itself will drown us in a spiral of ease. No hong pungtuk, shinkongan sinta trong bong soi donde. That sounds ominous. So, if tech is good at helping, how does it also pull us into the spiral of ease? Where's the line between helpful convenience and something that actually undermines us? Can you give an example?
Yeah, that's the double-edged sword. Technology is amazing at reducing friction, right? Making things easy. Think about one-click ordering, endless social media feeds, auto-playing videos.
Oh yeah, too easy sometimes.
Exactly. The tech makes everything easy, the good stuff and the, well, not so good stuff. The problem isn't the tech itself, it's when we unconsciously just go with its flow, its default settings. If we don't intentionally shape how we use these tools, their path of least resistance often leads us away from what we actually value, like focus or real connection or rest. It's the difference between, say, using your phone's map to find a park, versus getting sucked into watching reels for an hour because the app just kept feeding them to you. We need to be the architects of our digital space, not just passive residents.
Architect, not resident. That really nails it. We still have agency, even with all this tech designed to be easy. Okay, so that brings us towards the end here. And the teacher's final message to the student really sums it all up, I think. Kukde konduk ding hung fei boy ichi tatai mabuning rangbo kungwan makandat racho jingmin. Your life isn't shaped by those bursts of willpower, but by the wise constraints, the smart environmental choices you set for yourself.
It's a powerful takeaway, and it leads to a clear call to action for everyone listening. If you really want to change a habit, stop making promises you know you'll break when your willpower dips. Instead, get strategic. Be an architect. Lock the old path that leads you astray. Make it harder, less appealing. Then, open up a single, clear, easy path towards the habit you want. Design your surroundings, your tools, your schedule to make the right choice the default, the effortless option. And you'll find yourself just walking that path day by day. Not through struggle, but almost automatically.
That feels so much more achievable, honestly. It takes the pressure off needing superhuman discipline all the time, puts the power in how you design things. So maybe the thought to leave you all with today is this. What's one wise constraint you could put in place? Just one small tweak to your environment, physical or digital. How could changing one little thing about your surroundings redefine your default path tomorrow? Something to think about. Thanks for diving deep with us today. We'll catch you next time.